Hey friends, Ash here again. I'm just making another sort of stream of consciousness vid now about, just everything that's going on. There's a lot of crazy swirling energies right now, and I'm just feeling like what light workers and empaths and people and just everybody needs to do is hold the light. Don't feed into this craziness. Don't, there's a movie playing out, you know what I mean? And if you followed any of the boards, over these last couple of years where a lot of information's coming out in different places, right? You'll know that they knew this was going to happen this way. I really feel because, this is a game. It's game played out. It's chess, right? It's 5D chess. So I have to plan 20 moves ahead what I'm going to do and what I think you're going to do. So it's a tit for tat, right? They do this, Trump's people do that. They come up with this scam, Trump counteracts it in this way. And eventually one side is going to be checkmated, right? We're near the end of the game. The movie's almost over, right? Um, the question is really going to be how's it going to play out, and how are you going to contribute to that in a positive or negative way, right? Because there's going to be groups of people that just want to, you know, bring negativity to it. I'm not doing that. I'm not feeding into the fear. I'm laying back in my center space and I'm observing what's going on with a logical, empirical mindset. And I'm not feeding into emotion, and I'm not feeding into, I want to know what the facts are. And that's the hardest thing to figure out right now because no one's giving you the facts, right? You got a bunch of people on the news that are misinforming you on purpose. It's the mechanism of the deep state. It's what 1984 was talking about. It's newspeak, right? It's doublespeak. It's the Bureau of, whatever you want to call it, right? Misinformation. There's levels of propaganda that make the Nazis look like beginners, going on right now. You're being hit with signals and mind control stuff. And on top of that, they're spraying up New York big with the chemtrails the last few days. Big. Hitting us huge, big amounts. But I noticed that they're spraying another kind of chemtrail. They've been doing that too. And it's the good kind that eats that other bad one up. So every time they spray up, it usually doesn't work because eventually they spray the other kinds and it gets rid of it. So my main message is just hold the light, man. Stay in your center. Don't let this craziness affect you. Don't be in fear. Don't worry. Things are going to play out the way they're going to play out. This was all accounted for a long time ago. You got to go back to a long ways back to figure out that there were certain patriots in this country, especially after JFK was assassinated, that said enough is enough. We see the country the way it's going, and we heard Eisenhower's, clarion call and warning about the military industrial complex. And yeah, we need to do something now and start creating some kind of a plan to take this mechanism out of our government. But you're seeing how deep it is. It's all over the world. It's in every major institution. And so there's going to be a battle to, remove that evil, that dark presence from all over the world. And we're all going to have to come together and fight that battle. And then there's the alien part of this that, nobody wants to talk about really or address. But at some point we will have to address it. So, just with all that swirling craziness, it's hard to stay in your center space, but just realize that there's a movie playing out and it's getting near the end. We're in the last quarter of that flick, and we'll see how it all plays out. But what is important, I think, for all of us to do is not to jump to conclusions, not to let anger or fear or all these things like take over our hearts. We want to see a peaceful resolution and a lawful counting of all lawfully casted ballots, right? Not all ballots, but all lawfully casted ballots. And then to have a peaceful transition to whatever is, the result of that is. And I think the result of that is that Trump won the election pretty easily if all the votes legally cast votes are counted. Because I definitely think that there's some votes in there. Some of those ballots are not correct. I'm sorry. That's my opinion, and you're entitled to yours. But so with that, I wish you well, and just with the ascension, just keeping your center, keep doing your inner work, man. Keep meditating and keeping in your center space as the world swirls in chaos around you. Doesn't mean you have to feed into it, right? So with that, I wish you peace and love, and I hope you're doing well. Talk soon.